Okay, everybody, so, good morning. Okay, so, today we are going to be doing a lot of things, so I want you to really pay attention. What we're going to be doing is, first of all, we're going to be reviewing this song, okay, and probably learning a couple of new things, okay, and the new things that I might change as well. From the Gemini medley. This concert will be on June 30th, the very last day of our Gemini season. Okay? The Gemini theme song, you all know the melody, and you all know, the lyrics to it, and what they mean, what the story tells, and what the themes are for those lyrics, hopefully. Okay? So we're going to talk about that today also, while we're reviewing it and while we're learning new things, okay? Also, today we're going to be starting to read Everlast, of which you're going to be signing out copies of the book after lunch at about 2:30 this afternoon. And then once you do that, immediately we're going to go in and read chapter 1, which is called The Weight of the Light. We're going to be watching a book trailer of the book, and also, if I can find something extra, but also we're going to be listening to a song that goes with part of the story of a part of the setting and the character of a book, of the book. And it's called A Perfect Harmony. And you're going to see how the song applies, and I think that is just beautiful. And the story that the song tells is going to be kind of a little spoiler into, I just want to say at the beginning of the book. Like, I think about, the start of that second chapter of the book. That's where that song comes in. So it's called A Perfect Harmony. And then we're going to be looking, we're going to be reading the very first chapter. And then we're going to be tying in writing and reading to astrology. We're going to be applying it to all the different zodiac signs. All the different zodiac signs today, okay? And we might not get to all of them. I really don't know. Okay? Now, before we do that, we're going to be, what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be reviewing this. Okay, so I was born in Gemini. So what I want from you now is I want from you to sing the song that you should know. Okay? Alright. So, these are the lyrics. Okay? These are the lyrics to the song. Okay? So, can everyone see the lyrics? Okay. Alright. Okay, now. These are the lyrics. Right here. Okay? Now, let's see here. Okay. Now, these are the lyrics. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to just sing them a cappella. Okay? Sing everything here a cappella as best as you can. So do we all remember these? Do we all remember the lyrics and what the story and the theme's all about? Do we all know this? Alright. How about you just try to sing that, okay? And we'll see how far we can go. Fine, I'll review it. Okay. That's fine. Okay, it's been a little while. Okay, so remember on the very, very first stanza, remember what the melody is for that first stanza. Okay, so remember, it's a little introduction. And remember that on that, we're using so does it sound familiar? You're using this chord right here. Okay? So, remember, I was born a Gemini. Okay? And then it's gonna be, a freeborn social butterfly. Okay? It is now my thriving time. It's gonna be a little, slight slide between those notes, and then I'm coming to life again. I'm coming to life again. Oh. So let me see if I stayed on the same chord. Doo-doo. Okay. So remember, I was born a Gemini. A freeborn social butterfly. It is now my thriving time. I'm coming to life again. Coming to life again. Oh. Okay, so remember that chord. Remember on that chord, it's gonna be. So, I was born a Gemini, a freeborn social butterfly. It is now my thriving time. I'm coming to life again. I'm coming to life again. Oh. So that's how far you should get. Okay? And then also on this, it is now my thriving time. Remember that it is now my thriving time. Thriving time. Remember that. And remember all this the slides as well. Okay? So. Okay, so. I want you to try to sing that on your own, please. Okay. Alright, so that's good. Okay, I did notice that there was a little bit, it sounds a little flat. So I want you to try to add more of the slide to it. I was born a Gemini. But the very, very first one is completely straight. And then, and it's gonna be, a freeborn social butterfly. It is now my thriving time. Remember on that slide a little bit. So, it is now my thriving time. Okay? I'm coming to life again. I'm coming to life again. And then you know that. Okay? So, sing that. Okay. And remember, it's see, feel, and heal. Okay, so I can see the old doors closing. I can feel the new ones opening. I can hear the bright light flickering. Shall we start a fire? Okay, so remember that, okay? So do that. Okay, and remember the order. It's see, feel, and heal. Okay, and then I want you to try to do the chorus with this. So, shall we start a fire? Shall we start a fire? Remember that, okay? And then it's gonna be, shall we start a fire? Shall we start a fire? Okay, that's how long you should hold it. So, do that twice, actually, because that's how many times it goes. Okay, so remember, speaking it in rhythm, I was born a Gemini, off. A free-born social butterfly, off. It is now my thriving time, off. Let's see. It is now my thriving time. I'm coming to life again. I'm coming to life again. Oh, so I want you to try to say that, speak it in rhythm. Okay. So, now we've done that. Now try the next one. I can see the old doors closing. I can feel the new ones opening. I can hear the bright light flickering. So we start a fire. Off. Do that. Okay. And then, let's see here. So then remember, shall we start a fire? 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 Off. Do that. Do it twice. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, now, I want you to try to do this whole song in the memorized. Well, no, looking up the lyrics. So sing the whole song a cappella in melody. Okay? Wonderful. Okay, so I was born a Gemini, obviously. Born a Gemini, that's like the whole, like the title of the song. Born Gemini, I was born Gemini, because, hence the chorus for that, which we'll look at. So I was born a Gemini. Obviously, this is a sign. A free-born social butterfly. Again, this is getting into the characteristics and traits of Gemini. In addition to the Gemini MI sign. Okay, a free-born social butterfly. So, free-born, obviously very free, social butterfly. Think about butterflies. You know how beautiful color they look, and they just fly around. They just flit around. Mutable means changeable. Gemini is mutable air, the last spring. And why do I have that in my eye? Okay, and let's see here. Okay, so free-born social butterfly. Butterflies are really free. Because Gemini is really uninhibited and, wants to be free, says whatever, does whatever, goes wherever, kind of thing. And that's more Sagittarian flavor, but that gets into the flavor of the full moon. Okay? And then it is now my thriving time. It is now my thriving time. The thriving time is the time where you're under a particular sun sign and the sun is in your sign. So my thriving time would be from March 21 through April 20th. Thriving time is when you thrive, obviously, when you shine your fullest potential, your most, you express the best you can be, the best expression, the best character of yourself. Okay? Those kind of things, okay? So I'm coming to life again. Obviously, thriving time. The Gemini's coming to life again, talking, thinking, reading, doing whatever kind of thing. I can see the old doors closing. The old doors closing are the doors of the past. The past. The past is in the past. It is mutable ale. It is not cardinal, which represents, fresh starts and get up and go and control, but mainly the fresh start. But that's what it's saying. The old doors closing is an analogy metaphor for the past. So the old doors, and the doors of the past, they're closing and we're starting anew. So I can see, I see the old doors closing and I can feel the new ones opening. Feeling a new start, feeling revived, wanting to begin again, wanting to have new goals and start fresh, those types of things, and feeling so wonderful and so just so alive. The new ones opening, the new doors opening, or the doors into the present, into the future. Very Aquarian and very Aries as well, which it feels into the Earth and Fire, because Earth and Fire are both two cardinal signs that then have the both cardinal in them. Okay, so we know Aries. It's all about starting again with new individualism and self-identity, and also outward expression, going on new paths, realizing our purpose in this lifetime, why we're here, and where we're going, kind of thing. Try new things and venture with. And Capricorn is to start new goals and commitments and achieve and careers and go kind of thing. Okay? So, I can hear the bright light flickering, bright light flickering. It could be C, but flickering right here. Obviously flickering is not a sight, it is something that you hear. But the bright light flickering, the fire, okay, is what it's talking about. This is another name for fire, okay? And then shall we start a fire? The irony is that fire is not the element of Gemini. What is the element of Gemini? Okay, what is the main element of Gemini? Air. Okay, but with this, it's not only just air, but there's also, remember, that every sign has another element tied into its original element, influencing it and affecting it and pairing with it. Okay, so Gemini is an air sign, very, very airy sign. I think it's, really the most airy sign of the entire zodiac. If I had to compare it, because it's, very childlike, but it's also the fire to the air. It's also the fire to the air. Fire to the air means, that, as we know, Gemini is like Aries, very impulsive and wanting to get out and wanting to do things, very energetic and quick-witted and fun and entertaining and all those types of things. So, okay, so then shall we start a fire? Think about it. Shall we start Aries, basically. Shall we start the fire means, getting it going, energy, fun, factor, um, brightness, boldness, strength, alive. Shall we start a fire up, means alive, really. And probably you can, figure out a couple of things for that as well. But, okay, shall we start a fire? Shall we start a fire? And then, God's gonna go with that chorus. Okay, so God's gonna go with the chorus. And so now we're gonna do I Was Born a Gemini. So remember, remember the rhythms. Okay, as well. So, remember, I was born a Gemini. Gemini, I was born a Gemini. Actually, I'm going to play it on the keyboard in the key that we want it in. So remember what it is. I was born a Gemini. Gemini, 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 I was born a I remember what this one is. Gemini. So I was born a Gemini. Gemini, I was born a Gemini. Gemini, I was born a Gemini. Gemini, I was born a Gemini. Gemini. On that, so remember the rhythms. I was born a Gemini. I was born a Gemini. Gemini, 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 I was born a Gemini. Gemini. But actually it's Gemini. So it's actually, what is the rhythm for that? I always forget. Gemini. I was born a Gemini. So I'm gonna write that rhythm down. So it's da da da. Da da da. I'm gonna leave this up here. I'm gonna leave these 3 dots up here. Because this is the rhythm. Okay? Well, actually, wait a second, no. So it's dot dot dot. Gemini. Dot dot dot. Okay, I did it wrong. Okay, so this is the rhythm. Okay, I always forget. Whenever I come to that, I always forget what it is. So Gemini. Okay, so in rhythm, it's going to be again. I was born a Gemini. 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 Off. And then I was born a Gemini. Off. So it's gonna be actually. So it's gonna be. So this is the very first one. So remember, Gemini here, and then Gemini here. Okay, so remember, all of the rhythms, and it is hard. Okay, to remember that. So do not forget that when you come to that. Okay, so I want you to say that a cappella. So actually, when you're holding, when you're going, I was born a Gemini. I was born a Gemini. Off. 1. I was born a Gemini. A Gemini. Off. Okay, so Gemini. Okay, so Gemini 1, 2, off. And then a Gemini off. A Gemini. Okay, so Gemini 1, 2, off. Well, count is not my specialty, so I think that you get it. Okay, so I want you to remember the little details when you're doing that, please. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now, you've done that. We've accomplished this. So Gemini. That was the one thing that I noticed. Okay, you did find in the Gemini. So Gemini. A Gemini up, and I snap. Remember, like this. I mean, kind of like that at the end of it. But remember, Gemini. I was born. Gemini. So this is hopefully to help you with that. So, let's see. Okay. Let's see here. So, on this, we're going to be doing this in melody. Alright, so it's going to be, remember on the chord, so it's going to be, I was born a Gemini. So on the chord that we want, I was born a Gemini. It's going to be, I was born a Gemini. 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 Wait, actually it's gonna be, I was born a Gemini. Okay, so let's start again. Okay, so, I was born a Gemini. Say yes, say. Okay. Okay, let's start over. Okay. Alright, so, so remember, I was born a Gemini. 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 So remember, I was born a Gemini. 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 Off. 1. I was born a Gemini. A Gemini. Off. Okay, so I want you to do that. Okay? Exactly how I did. Wonderful. Okay. So that is good enough for today. We'll learn new stuff tomorrow. Okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to take your attention off somewhere else. Okay, we're going to do a couple more things, okay? We're going to listen to a couple more songs, okay? And then later this afternoon, we're going to be learning about writing and reading and connecting it through astrology. And also, and I'm not going to tell you the order in which it's going to go in, but also we're going to check out books, and there's going to be a whole procedure for that. And we're going to be reading chapter 1 of Everlast, and we might actually do that first, but I really don't know the order that we're going to do it in. Okay, so I'm going to turn these things on, and I want you to see the book trailer for Everlast. Okay, and I think, as I told you about it yesterday. Okay, so let's see here. So this is the preview of the book, of what it's gonna be about. Okay, and I might actually read the descriptions, to be able to, to tell you what it says on the trailer. Okay, so, you all know the